Welcome back, everybody, to another part of the series where we are creating a web developer slash designer portfolio websites. Last time we started on the responsiveness. Here you can see we have finished 3 screens already. And today we're going to be continuing with that same idea of responsiveness, and we're going to be creating this page for mobile. Okay, first of all, let's just take this and we can just duplicate it. Okay, around here. Okay, so also one thing I want to focus on is this menu. Here you can see we just put this menu here with a color difference, but we still need a way for it to open up. I'm thinking to have a basic opening mechanism here, where it goes from this menu to the links which are present here. Let's just start working on this design here, and we're going to be figuring that out after we finish it. So let's just remove everything here. And this is very simple. We just want to copy and paste here. And we want to, first of all, we want everything to be within the screen limits. Obviously, we have our guides. I'm going to give it, sorry, I'm going to give it 24 pixel gap. Obviously, the gaps and stuff might change in the final design. Also, this extra large, I'm going to go with just large. And this small, I'm going to go with the body fonts and something like this. Okay, now we have these carousel sort of views of the portfolio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take them and I'm going to do the same thing I did here, where we could position this right here, and we can pretty much take everything here and just make it fill the container. And we can decrease the size of the container here. Okay. Okay, I guess we have to do the same thing for all the images as well to make them fill the container. So yeah, we can just go around. We can actually remove the forged one. We don't really need it currently. Okay, so we can give it like this sort of width, and we can put it like this just to indicate that it is a carousel. Following that, we want there to be a second row like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just duplicate this and move it to the side a bit. Then let's go down to around 16 pixel or 24 actually difference. And I would like to decrease the actual heights as well. So I want this to be fill container. Okay, so we can now take this, drag it up a bit here, and just take this, duplicate it, move it to the side. And we want to have 24 pixel gap between these two. Now we want to just group them, and this will be the main view of the actual work. Show you here. Okay. So since we have that done, we can just position it correctly. I'm thinking to go like 32 here or 48, maybe 48. Then we can actually make these a bit longer since we have the space. Okay, now since we are done with that, let's actually work on the menu. What I want the menu to be here is I want there to be the default menus here. We can just copy it from here, I think. Okay, we can just copy it and just paste and replace here. Control-Shift-R to paste and replace. Okay, I want to drag the bids. Okay, here, then position it up. And that's the menu when it is open. Obviously, it's a bit too big currently. So we want to make it a bit smaller. And there is a bit more of a space here. So let's make this hot content and let's go straight to pixel spacing. Now we want there to be a closing method here. So for that, I'm just going to copy the menu from here. Just duplicate it and bring it over here. Let's make everything the full black color again. Okay, so now we change that text from menu to close. And we just want this to be, we want it to be a bit smaller, I assume. So you can actually make it just the regular size. And I want there to be consistency. So first, let's actually just also lay out them into the map bar, the map. Great. Then after that, this is complete. We can just collapse everything, move the header up and the nav down. But I want to do something here, which is just to change this into the system font size and place it like this. Since we want pretty much consistency all around, we will see in the final design if it is too small, and I'm assuming it is. So let's actually just increase it just a bit here. 14 I think would work much better. And then we can do the same thing here. Okay, let's just move this up. And we can actually just take these and just resize them. Okay, so now we can give them equal spacing between these 2 points. So I think it's 57 from both sides. Yep. Okay. Okay. So just move it up. 47, 51. So 50 by 50. Okay. Great. So we have everything working here. Obviously, in the final design, we should make these components that's open and close. But this is the wireframe, so I'm not really bothering with components. I just want a framework so that when we get to the design, it's much simpler and much easier to work with. Now we can continue here, and we have this experience page. So we can actually move to there. We can duplicate this and place it right here. By the way, I'm holding shift to move it on an axis. You can see only on a single axis. If I don't have shift, it moves freely. Okay, yeah, we can continue here. Let's just copy the text. We have to change it to body text. Here we can rewrite this 7+ years experience. I think that was it, yeah. Okay, so how do we actually present this? So before that though, I would want to remove this part here and ungroup this. Let's change this back to menu. By the way, the reason I wanted to include the menu at the bottom, I don't think I've talked about that much, is because I don't want it to get in the way of the actual content. I want this to be as immersive as possible. So the menu being there just goes out of the way. It's still accessible and visible, but it's not the first thing you'll see, and it is not the central focus points. So yeah, I'm thinking that people can navigate through this like an experience rather than using a website. So yeah, if it was a website, like navigation would be an important part. But if like it's a story, you don't always know where you are going. Uh, but you have to make sure that the final destination is always the call to action. That we did here. Yeah, here and here. Yeah, so you just have to make sure that the call to action will be the final destination. So now how do we include this? Okay, I think I removed too much. Yeah, okay. Let's just change this back to personal story. And yeah, let's now just remove this. We can come here and bring this, duplicate it, and let's drag it inside here. Okay. So let's work on a single one first. So we want it to be filled in the container. We want the content to be filled in the container as well. Okay, and yeah, almost done. See, this is pretty simple. We want this to be filling the container fully. So you can actually just take this out of a group and that will yield the same result. Okay, now let's just change the sizes. So it was 48. I'm going to go with a smaller font, either 18 or 18 a bit too small. Do we have a 24? We have a 32, which is fine. And we want to change this from 48 to 32 as well. Okay, so here also you want to change this to 12. Again, this should be filling the container. 16 gap and everything here is fine. Now, one thing you might have noticed is that here on hover, we have an image. But here we don't really have the hover interaction in phones. So we can actually just take the image and try to make it visible anyway. So if we just paste it here, obviously it's far out of the view and that's not what you want currently. So I'm thinking of a way that we could, I think what we can do here. Just give me a moment to think about this. So, this series is like me creating the full website in front of you. So there are no cuts, no edits. And sometimes in this is a hard layout gets done into a mobile view. So let me just think about this. My first thought was to group it with the right side. So this would be the I think it's more of an accent, the year and the uh image. So maybe it's just extra info. And we don't want it to be this big of a gap. Like 16 works. Uh, okay, we want this to fill the container. We want this to be filling the container, although we want to keep the aspect ratio. That looks fine. I wanna change this up, make it smaller. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking to do a different layout. I don't see how the image becomes relevant with the text here to group them together. Uh, I want to make it somewhere like this. Then I want to take the year and place it here with the actual content because I think they are more closely related than with the image. So I think that makes more sense. And we can just remove the rest and just keep duplicating this. Let's do this one more time. Okay. Obviously the last one shouldn't have a border. For some reason it has. Yeah. Also, we want to take this out here. Delete this out. Delete this and yeah. Okay, we want to call this experiences. Okay, we can take this out as well and delete this. Okay, not that. Great, so now we can move it behind, below the header and above the menu. So, okay, now here, since we are done with this, we don't really need to change the text, but I think it makes more sense if we could show how this would look in an actual developed and deployed environment. So I'm just gonna tune them up. It doesn't take too much time, but it has really big value. Let's just start it up. This provides really big value here because you can like know if the actual content you are thinking to present in your design, in your websites is valid, or if it like breaks your content that you wanted to present. Obviously, when we copy some text, Figma automatically resizes it to the copied size. So you want to make sure that you change that back. Okay. So this is the landing portfolio mobile. Obviously, now we are considering the fact that most people will actually be just viewing the website from a desktop or a laptop, a computer, a larger screen. So that's like our base assumption, but it's still a very important thing to have everything in place for some people who would be viewing the website on mobile. And especially for a portfolio, because if you're presenting yourself as a designer slash developer, people will be expecting like a responsive design and a responsive implementation into code. So that's something worth having. Hmm. Sorry for my voice, actually. I've been having a cold, so it might sound different. Okay, so we are done with two of these sections. Obviously, we can continue next time on these two sections and the landed page is over. Sorry. Sorry again. And we can then finish off with these work sections and simple 2 pages here for the navigation and the CTA. And this shouldn't take us too long. We should be able to finish it within a week and go into the design finally. Again, okay, thanks for watching. That's all for today. If you have any questions or any thoughts on the overall series, please comment them down below in the description. But yeah, that's all for today. Till next time. Goodbye.